Well, I'm pretty bummed that something decimated the corn. I'm guessing skunk. We have quite a few around here. So what I'm gonna do is go through and cut all this corn out with a pair of loppers and shred it, compost it, and put a fence around what's left. Well, that's all cleaned up. At least the corn's out of it. I did have a few stalks that didn't get bent or broken by the skunk. Pretty sure it was a skunk. So I'm going to tie those up for decorations around the front porch, some fall decorations. And rather than till this, I'm going to come in and blanket it with some of the horse manure, which is not fully composted, but certainly pretty far along. That'll hopefully give some nutrients to the rest of the corn that's still there and smother all this stuff that's still left, the weeds and all that stuff. So I'll blanket it with horse manure and then mulch it pretty heavily. See if I can kill back all this stuff without tilling. I just smelled it. Gonna plant some clover in the corn now that I've done all the cultivation. Hopefully that'll recharge the nitrogen that all the corn is sucking out of this soil. It's supposed to rain. I've been hearing thunder for the last 2 hours. Over the lake, back there, pretty dark. I'm hoping it comes right over us after I plant this clover. I mentioned the other day, my peaches are looking pretty good. This one was weighing down a branch, so I just picked it. I'm gonna give this one a try. It feels like it's ripe. Oh, that is awesome. Mmm, that was good. So I have a small section of Ales of Craig here, and then I've got some Sierra Bianca, which I've never tried before, so I'm interested to see how those came out. But right now I'm going to do these quickly, and then I think I had some red onions at the end of the row, but one thing at a time. So here's an Ales of Craig. This is a nice onion. Pretty pleased with this. Nice and big, softball size, beautiful onion. So here's an onion that was still erect, but when I pulled it, it didn't last long. So the reason is because when an onion's ready and the top falls over, it falls over at a certain, bends at a certain point. And right where that point is, it's really soft. So it's firm everywhere else, but right there. So sometimes what happens in the middle of the row, the onion's just being supported by the other onions. And you can kind of tell sometimes by looking at it, and other times, I don't know, you just get a hunch and you reach down, and if it's really soft right there, I'll just pull it, because if it's in the middle of the row, it was being supported, and as soon as I pull something out, I'll come back tomorrow and this one will be down, so I'll just pull it today. Ooh, these are nice looking onions too. Another, similar to Ales of Craig, they're pretty big. We'll save one of these out and have it with dinner. See how they taste. So these ones under the kale did not size up, which is predictable. This big bushy kale plant shaded things out, probably sucked up all the moisture in the ground. But that's alright, I've got way too many onions. Way more than I can use. And now I still have this beautiful kale plant here in this row that would otherwise be empty. So that's alright. Alright, just the red left. And it looks to me like this one's going to be pretty easy, because all of them have fallen over, as far as I can tell. So I'll just clean up these ones completely. It's nice not doing this on the commercial scale, because I'm able to take things as they come in and leave these onions to mature a little bit more. That's pretty nice. Usually when I was farming commercially, I would just have to come in and just clear the entire row. But I can give these an extra day, 2, 3, however many days it takes for them to fall over and reach peak ripeness. So that's pretty fun. Time to harvest these red onions. So my red onions are actually shallots. I started pulling them and thought, these don't look right. I looked at the sign and then remembered, yeah, I didn't plant any red onions because we don't eat them. I've been planting red onions for years, and in my head that was the habit. But these are shallots. They look pretty good. Never grown this variety before. They don't seem to have done what shallots typically do, which is kind of break into cloves inside. They all seem to be one bulb, which would be awesome because that'd be a lot easier. I'll have to go back and look at the catalog, see if that's maybe what they're bred for. But anyway, this looks pretty awesome. Good harvest shallots, the Sierra Bianca onions, Ales of Craig onions, and Patterson storage onions. They all look pretty awesome. So I'm gonna go take these and put them under the deck to dry out in a shady place. And then once the tops are all brown, all look like this, and they're all completely flat and shriveled up, they'll be ready for storage in the root cellar. Alright, so it's getting dark. As usual, I'm out here as the sun's going down, which is why I chose the name I did for this homesteading project. But this is actually going to be beneficial, hey Ziggy, because I'll be able to see my voltage meter. It's usually really hard to see this in the daytime. It lights up depending on how much voltage is going through the line. So I need to test this to make sure it's going to keep away whatever is bothering my corn. So I'm going to test it now. Alright, so this is the furthest spot from, on this fence at least, from the charger. So I'm going to put the ground in. Oh, it's working pretty well. Anybody touches that, they're going to get juiced. So if it's a skunk, they'll probably know it in the morning. There's some possibility that it's actually a squirrel or several squirrels. So I'm actually going to set a trap as well.